and you live the life of the false self. In doing so, you miss the true self. And therefore, this aberration or this contradiction in one's life it can be addressed quite effectively by studying Vedanta, Gita and other texts. They help you to know your true self. There is a story in Indian folklore also. In my childhood, my mother used to tell. A fly, in India there are many flies going around, a tropical climate. A fly forgot its name. Did you hear that story? Some of you must have heard. The fly forgot its name. It wakes up in the morning and struggles to know, who am I? It doesn't know the name, it forgot. And then one old woman was cleaning the place before her home. They do that in India. They clean the front, the area before the home. And while she is cleaning, this fly goes and asks, Amma, I forgot my name. Do you know what is my name? She says, I am busy now. Don't disturb me. Go. You go and ask that person who is taking care of the cow. And then the fly goes to that cowherd boy. Oh, cowherd boy, I forgot my name. Do you know? He says, hey, come on, I am busy with the cow. Go to the fisherman and ask. Like that the story goes on. We are no different. So we have yet to find who we are. We imagine ourselves to be Americans, Indians, Indo-Americans, Americo-Indians, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, businessman, engineer, doctor, father, mother, brother, sister. All these things we believe about ourselves. In believing so, we miss the real self, which is none of these things. I wish to speak with you the whole night, but I cannot do that. I will take for a little while. How to clean up my old vasanas? This question came on one more time. It's nice. You should be aware of the vasana. The vasana is the latency within you. That is the vasana. And you should recognize that first. This is a vasana, the inner latency, which is not good, which is not good for mental health, which is not good for physical health also. And it can be a nuisance for others also. And so you have to recognize all that. This is a predilection which I have, which is not good for me, for others also. So you should recognize. That is the first step. The second step is when the vasana comes up and it prompts you into doing action in that direction, you should become alert about it. You should become alert. And in that alertness, the vasana becomes powerless. It loses its force. And then you have to invoke you become self-confident, and you have to tell yourself, I can overcome this vasana, it is no good, I can easily overcome it. And so you should be confident about that. That is the second step. The third step is you watch the vasana in operation. How you stop? You watch the vasana in its operation. You do these three steps gradually, they are all interconnected only. Gradually the vasana becomes weak and it will vanish. Like for example, you have the habit of becoming irritated or angry. That is a vasana. Therefore, you stop justifying anger. There is no justifiable anger. Anger is evil. You cannot justify it. People justify anger. They become angry and justify anger. Therefore, they cannot get rid of it. So don't justify anger. And watch the operation of anger in you. It will go away. How should we deal with adversities? A prayer, is it a question? A prayer, question mark, must be, right? Anyway, I take it like that. You can make a prayer, that is fine. You should make prayer only in adversities or what? You can make prayer when you are peaceful also. When you are quiet and happy and prayer, you see, don't pull prayer into everything. Prayer is a discipline. It could be there in the morning and evening. And ultimately you should live a prayerful life. Not just making a prayer here and a prayer there. It must be a prayerful life. A prayerful life means you accept the life as it presents itself before you. It brings prosperity as well as adversity. Prosperity is divine and adversity is also divine. And you accept both as the divinity. Both are divine. You accept both. And having accepted, then you see what is it that I need to do, what is my duty in this context. To do the duty. That is the real prayer. That is the prayerful life. You have to lead that. That is one thing. Second thing, generally you have a few illusions. You means not you, that is the style of speaking. People have illusions. And these illusions make them believe that such and such is an adversity. Suppose the illusion is gone, then it is not an adversity anymore. Suppose somebody dies, you call it an adversity and ask the question how to deal with it. Ask me. Then my answer is, it is not an adversity. People dying is not an adversity. People die, all the people die, everybody has to die. I have to die, you have to die, everybody has to die. No, die, live long and die. Why? Why live long and die? One can live for a short time and die also. That's why illusion. You have funny illusions about life and death. And therefore, death becomes adversity. Birth becomes prosperity. In fact, I say a child is born. I say, oh poor child, just now it started living. It has 80 years of arduous life before it. I sympathize with the child. And I am unhappy that the child has just started a life. Poor child, how much he is going to suffer. Therefore, I consider it as an adversity for the child and for the parents and all that. It's an adversity. The parents, they enjoy the child's growth up to 3 years. Earlier 5 years, now 3 years only. And after 3 years, they start worrying about the child and they push the child. Recently, one thing became viral. In India, the child is praying to mother, "Mother, don't beat me." Mother says, "Tell me numbers 1 to 10. And she started 1, already crying, 2, and crying, 4, mother gives a slap. And then she says, "Mother, don't beat me, because I don't know all the 10 numbers. I will try, but I don't know. Don't beat me." And she is crying. And she is begging the mother. Mother is not melt, her heart did not melt. She is pushing the child. This became viral. And therefore, the birth of the child is the adversity in my opinion. Because it gives so much suffering to the child, and the parents enjoy 3 years only, and afterwards they start suffering, and they persecute the child. They don't allow the child to grow the normal way, the natural way. They put all their agenda upon the child. I am a Christian, therefore my child must be a Christian. I am a Brahmana, therefore my child must be a Brahmana. I like to put a tuft of hair on my head, therefore my son also should put it. So you don't allow any freedom to the child. You don't give your love to the child. You give your thoughts to the child. In the process, you suffer and the child suffers. Therefore, birth of a child is an adversity in my opinion. Death is a prosperity, because death puts an end. What life cannot mend, death ends. That is therefore, and for me, I need not sit for bhiksha anymore. The job is done. I am happy. Welcome death. Therefore, people have illusions about adversity and prosperity. Suppose somebody wins a lottery. Is it prosperity or adversity? It is adversity. And somebody has accumulated a lot of gold and the thieves have taken it away. Abba, what a blessing it is. It is the best possible prosperity. Therefore, what do you mean by adversity? People have all kinds of illusions. And therefore, I have answered in two ways. How to handle the adversity, assuming it is an adversity. I will also ask you to examine whether it is an adversity. Is it an adversity? You have to examine. Somebody telephoned me, "Hey, Swami, what should I do? Someone has stolen my wife." I told him, the best revenge you can have against this guy is let him keep her. So there is no adversity now. What is the adversity? There is freedom. Something, don't mind. What happens in deep sleep? What do you want me to tell you what happens in deep sleep? You tell me. Deep sleep is your personal experience, you know. You tell me what happens. All your desires, fears, suffering, etc. comes to an end. All your hype also that I have this much, I am this great, that great, all of that comes to an end. All your religions, race, caste, creed, all these distinctions come to an end. The entire variety, the divisions, the duality comes to an end. And you go into the bliss of oblivion. That is what happens in the sleep. Why it is bliss? Because though it is bliss of oblivion, it is also the bliss of merging with the truth, the reality which is within you. That is the God. You merge in the God in sleep. That's why you wake up so much refreshed and rejuvenated. That is the secret of the refreshment and the rejuvenation that you get in sleep. You explain, otherwise how you become so much rejuvenated? Because you go in the merge in the reality, the truth. That's why you become so free and so rejuvenated when you wake up. That is what is happening in sleep. The Upanishads say that a lot of argumentation and exposition. The Upanishads prove that in sleep you merge in Ishvara, the Godhead.
Swamiji, because of ignorance,
You
you don't know about it.
don't know about it because of ignorance. But that is what is happening to you.
But what about when you dream? And you dream a lot of things.
Dreams. State is the reproduction of the waking state. The waking state is reproduced in the dream state. The mind, which is partially sleeping and partially awake, will play the tamasha. It will play the problems of the waking state one more time. That is what dream state is.
Sometimes normally like a dream comes true, like what you see in the dream, you might face that. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that is what I call illusion. The waking state itself is unreal. Now you want to say dream comes true. That is a coincidence, nothing more. Because the waking state alone appears in the dream. In the waking state, you are so much worried whether your son will pass the exam or not. And in the dream, the son passes the exam. And next day morning, the coincidence is he passes the exam. So the dream comes true. Ultimately, the whole thing, that I am father, he is the son, all of this is an illusion, ultimately.
Then it is not a dream.
It's not there.
Then it is not a dream.
Then it is not a dream. These are all imaginations of the people. There is no truth in all that. Emptiness of mind is love. What is emptiness of the self? There cannot be emptiness of the self. There can only be emptiness of the mind. Like there is a pond full of waves, wavelets, surf and bubbles. Okay? Now all of that happened because of a disturbance, right? Now the disturbance is gone, and therefore no waves, no wavelets, no surf, no bubbles. That is the emptiness. Therefore, emptiness of a phenomena could be there. But that is not same as emptiness of the pond. There will be no emptiness of the pond. Water will always be there. That is the example. Don't tell me that there is no water. Okay, that is the example. Therefore, waves are there, waves subsided. Water is there and water is there always, like that. Self is like that. Self is the only reality that is there. The mind, it becomes very agitated and restless. Now mind becomes quiet. That is the emptiness of the mind.
Swamiji, you said emptiness is really fullness.
Yeah, that is true. So when the mind is empty, the self shines in all its glory. Because the mind throws an opaque screen of ideas, concepts, notions, desires, fears, vasanas, etc., thereby veiling the inner self. When the mind becomes empty, the self shines in all its glory. Yeah. And when the mind is empty, you can learn a few things also. Yeah.
Better practice.
That was a teacher.
So now the time is over. And my limit of speaking is also coming to an end. Is knowledge Atma? What do you mean by knowledge? It depends. This is part. That is this kind of cognitive process, that is not Atma, that is mind. But the very essence of knowledge means the knowingness, the awareness absolute, that is Atma. The nature of the Atma is knowledge. Again, the same question. Nature of Atma is knowledge, but the word knowledge you have to correctly appreciate. Generally people say knowledge of physics, knowledge of this subject, that subject. It is something like knowledge of the part. This is part. That is the knowledge. The physics knowledge is also similar. Only thing is knowledge of part happens immediately. Physics knowledge requires a little effort. Another thing is a knowledge. And that is the knowledge that the mind acquires, the intellect accumulates. That is the knowledge. That is not Atma.
Knowledge of the self.
Knowledge of the self is the... No, don't put it that way. The awareness absolute, which is the very matrix of knowing, that is Atma. Put it that way.
Knowingness.
Knowingness is Atma. Awareness absolute, what we say, is Atma. So, in a given sense, knowledge means that. Suppose you say, what you are describing so much, that is what I mean by knowledge. That is Atma. But the word knowledge is Atma is very misleading, that's why. Define what is Tattva. Tattva is anaropita karam tattvam. You do not project a shape that goes with a name. So that is called Tattva. Like you say necklace, that is not Tattva. You say anklet, bracelet, etc. That is not Tattva. You say gold, that is Tattva. Gold has no shape. Only the ornament which has shape. Don't say biscuit and all that. Biscuit is another shape of the gold. Gold in itself has no shape. That's why you can bring it into any shape that you desire. Therefore, the shapeless and hence the nameless, that which has no shape and a name, that is what is called Tattvam. Anaropitakaram Tattvam. Water is Tattva. The shape that water takes, that of the vessel it takes, that is the a form that you impose upon it. All these are tattvas. Vayu is a tattva, it has no shape. Akasha is a tattva. Water is a tattva, apaha, jala. Prithvi is also a tattva. Prithvi means solid matter. Solid, what is its shape? It has no shape. It can acquire any shape you like. You can impose any shape upon it. In itself, it has no shape. That is,
How about pavak, like fire?
fire has no shape. Agni also has no shape. The wood or the fuel provides a shape to the fire. Suppose you have gas stove, it comes like this. That is because of the stove nature. That is not intrinsic to fire. Fire has no shape. The Panchabhutas have no shape. And God is also shapeless and formless. We project a shape for the purpose of worship.
Swamiji, when we go to the microscopic level, molecular level, then all those shapes again start coming because particle and particle and particle. But not gross level.
Yeah. Even the particles also, if you carefully examine, electron, you can't say it has a shape because it doesn't have even a mass. Its mass is negligible. So, therefore, is it a particle or is it a wave? That is a doubt. And then the same thing about nucleus also. The nucleons also, the same thing happens. Therefore, ultimately, the shapes will dissolve.
But molecules and atoms, which are
They seem to have a shape, yeah. It is also not a fixed shape, vibrating, you know. The molecules vibrate. The intramolecular vibration, H2O is there. O with a H here, with a H there. This H will be going this and that way, that H will be going that way, this O will be going up and down. So much vibrations are there. There is no fixed thing in this creation. There is only one fixed thing. That is you, your real self. What is the Shunya Tattvam? Nature of nothingness. You see, nothingness is not absolute. Nothingness is always relative. There is nothing, means something relative. Earlier there were so many things, all those things are gone. Like after another half an hour, there will be nobody here, which means all of us will go. That is the idea. So, nothingness is always relative to something. There is no pot. That is the nothingness of the nothingness relative to pot. We stop at this point. I will see these things and keep with me. I will see whether I can do something about it later. Maybe tomorrow. These things.
Thank you so much for coming in. Translating our talks.
Thank you. All of us should thank the host.